US Vice President Kamala Harris has addressed Pacific leaders in what's seen as a masterstroke from America amidst its geostrategic competition with China.
But the chief of a small Fijian village is asking, where's the real action on climate change? Climate correspondent Isabel Ewing has the story.
A short drive from Suva, the village of Vevatuloa. Here, climate change is a human rights issue. The creeping oceans forced more than 20 families out of their homes.
You can look around, there's a lot of landslide taken by sea.
It couldn't feel further from where the Pacific leaders are meeting to discuss the region's future. Village headman Suwani Rauto says there's no future here.
The raising of the water level is much higher than before.
Just down the road, the jostling for influence in the Pacific ramping up. The United States muscling into the Pacific Islands Forum in an unprecedented move for a non-member, invited by Chair Frank Bainimarama, taking other leaders by surprise.
Bulang and welcome.
In the back row, eyes and ears from the Chinese embassy, who weren't invited. In April, China inked a security pact with the Solomon Islands, and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi toured the Pacific seeking similar agreements. And now the US striking back.
In recent years, the Pacific Islands may not have received the diplomatic attention and support that you deserve. So today I am here to tell you directly, we are going to change that.
Rolling out a counter-offer to Beijing's.
We will embark on a new chapter in our partnership, a chapter with increased American presence.
Including opening new embassies in Tonga and Kiribati, developing a Pacific strategy for the first time in history, and a better deal for Pacific nations in exchange for fishing in their waters.
We plan to triple US funding.
Harris saying that funding will contribute to climate resilience, but it's not guaranteed. It needs approval from Congress. Jacinda Ardern saying it's safe to assume the United States commitment includes climate action.
It is the #1 issue for this region, and I think no one's under any illusion that that is where the focus is.
But Pacific people don't feel the focus is there.
You didn't consult the villages.
So the Pacific bidding war between China and the US is on, but for those dealing with the impact of the climate crisis now, it's the same old talk, 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 no action.
Well, Isabel joins us now from Suva. Isabel, any reaction from Beijing yet on Kamala Harris's appearance at the forum?
Well, Sam, we haven't seen any official reaction from Beijing just yet, but as you saw in that story, the Chinese government certainly has people on the ground here keeping an ear and an eye to developments despite not being invited. And it is likely that China feels aggrieved at being excluded, given the meeting of foreign partners, which includes the US, India and China, was cancelled in advance. And so really, if Kamala Harris is getting the call up, perhaps it would have been fair to extend an invite to Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi as well. But despite the absence of Chinese leaders and officials here in Suva in the official meetings, you can bet that China and its power plays here in the Pacific will feature prominently in discussions and debate among leaders tomorrow.
Ngā mihi, Isabel, thanks so much.